Hi, I'm Astrian. My podcast is called In Case of Emergency, Preparing for Disasters. The "for" is in parentheses because I want to get into not just how we prepare for disaster response, but also how the groundwork for disasters is laid long in advance, preparing the way for those disasters to happen at all. I worked in public health emergency preparedness for 2 years in Oklahoma during the COVID response and its aftermath. And I've also worked in various health equity research positions, and I've been a community organizer since high school. One of the key things to remember about disaster, be it environmental, health related, or so called natural, is that it can happen to anyone, but it doesn't happen to everyone the same way. In my podcast, I want to get into the ways that disabled people are made particularly vulnerable during disasters and the way that public health emergency preparedness has tried to respond. We'll also have to look at the current impact of the federal government's attacks on DEI and the general antipathy toward public health and preparedness. Public health disasters are not going away. They're much more likely to get worse. Looking from COVID-19 to the threat of other pandemics, such as H5N1, bird flu, who's going to be most at risk next time? When government responses leave people out to dry or actually to die, who steps into the gap? Disruptions to medical supply chains, which might sound esoteric, are another public health threat and a disability justice issue, and one that's only going to get worse as climate crisis makes supply chains more fragile. The climate crisis itself is a constellation of disasters that threaten public health and fall first and worst on the most vulnerable communities. I'll be talking to some of my Oklahoma public health colleagues to get a sense of the official preparedness landscape these days, as well as bringing on some community organizers to talk about the role that mutual aid efforts can play during disaster. The thing is, we live in an age of crisis. There are times when public health agencies and government policy can help step into the breach, but often they fail. So I want to bring the focus back to the community level work that might help us get each other through the crisis to a more just and livable world.